Some people will tell you how much money they earned on YouTube, but few will tell the full story. In today's video, I am fully pulling back the curtain and not just telling, but showing you exactly how much money my channel made and how I made it. And spoiler alert, some of what I tell you will probably surprise you. By the way, this video is sponsored by Tide, more on them later. All right, let's kick off with the good stuff, shall we? Let's talk about how much I have earned from my YouTube channel since I uploaded my very first video in November 2020. Okay, so let me break down some of the top line stats first. My channel has accumulated 12.2 million views since that date, 1.1 million watch hours. Sorry, 1.1 million watch hours. Stats like that like literally make me want to break out in hives, because what do you mean 1.1 million hours? What do you mean? That's like the idea of someone watching my face for that long makes me want to cry. That's a lot of hours. Okay, and then I've also accumulated 281,000 subscribers, and I've earned a grand total of, drumroll, £166,399.08, which for my US listeners is $225,000. Give or take a few cents. Before we break down how my channel has actually made that amount of money, I think it's important to specify when my channel actually started to earn, because I think that's like an important thing to be aware of. So my channel was officially monetized on the 20th of April, 2021, which was almost exactly 6 months after I shared my very first video. That is a very short timeline to go from first YouTube video to monetize within 6 months. However, there are a couple things you have to bear in mind when it comes to that timeline. The first thing is that we were in lockdown, so people were watching a lot more YouTube content during that time because we had less things to do. And also there was a huge uptick in interest in my niche around that time as well, because people were looking for ways to earn money on the side outside of their full-time jobs. In addition to that, my background is in marketing and business. If we've just met for the first time, hi, that's what I worked in for 8 years. That's what I studied, which meant that when it came time for me to create content online, I actually had a lot of foundational knowledge, especially when it came to social media channels and how they worked already. So I was able to fast track my career using that information. And spoiler alert, that is why I do what I do now. I basically created this entire business so that I could help other people fast track their journey by learning all the things that I had learned by the time that I started my journey. Another caveat before we keep on going is that I do not pocket all of that money. I have a limited company. I have employees. YouTube is one part of my company. I also have a social media marketing agency. I have a membership and events company for creators. I do public speaking, I do consultancy, like there's loads of different income streams, and I have loads of expenses, and I have loads of tax to pay. So this money doesn't go straight into my pocket as much as I would love it to. It goes into my company's bank account and then is dispersed into several places before it actually gets to me. Okay, we've got the flashy number out of the way. Let's dive in. That's me diving in. I always do that when I say that phrase, which is embarrassing for me. It's embarrassing for you. It's embarrassing for Mojo. Let's pull back the curtain on how I've made this much money. Now, the bulk of my income comes from watch page ads. So these are the ads that you see in and around the video that you are watching right now. How it essentially works is the brands that are advertising on my channel are paying YouTube to be placed in and around my content, right? YouTube then gives a portion of that money to me. Now, in my analytics, they actually make it really clear what that portion is. Right? So here you can see how much advertisers pay to be placed around my channel. Right now, my CPM, which is cost per milli, which basically means how much advertisers pay per 1,000 views to be in and around my video content, that amount is £23.53, right? That is a pretty healthy amount. It does vary depending on the type of content that you create. So if you are in a business niche, a marketing niche, a finance niche, anything like that, you tend to notice that your CPM is higher. And this is because advertisers are willing to pay more to be in and around your content. Versus if you're in a lifestyle niche, beauty niche, fashion niche, your CPM might be a lot lower. So it might be more around the £4 or the £5 mark, right? And this is because advertisers pay less to be in and around your video. I don't want to complicate this too much, but if you're wondering why advertisers pay more for like my content versus maybe beauty content, it mostly comes down to the value of what they're selling. If someone is advertising in between my video content, they're probably selling subscription to like a website builder that costs £100 a month. And therefore they might earn thousands of pounds purely purely by getting one person to sign up by advertising on my channel, and therefore they're willing to spend more money to be placed there, versus a beauty brand who's selling a mascara. They might make £10 if they actually get a sale through advertising on a beauty creator's website, which is why they're willing to pay less to advertise there. I hope that makes sense. Now, your CPM isn't consistent across the board. It will vary depending on the videos that you share as well, mostly for the reasons that I just explained. So here in this graph, you can actually see how my CPM has differed depending on the video that I'm creating. For example, my video about how to start a podcast, that CPM was £40. So advertisers were paying £40 per 1,000 views for that video, versus this video, which is about organic Instagram growth tips, advertisers were paying £18, which is obviously a lot less, but still a pretty healthy amount. Now, at the risk of me overloading you with marketing acronyms, I do need to talk about something called your RPM. This is actually the most important one to be aware of. I mentioned before that YouTube will split the money that advertisers pay them with the creator. That is where your RPM comes in. So your CPM is the amount that the advertisers are willing to pay per 1,000 views. The RPM is your revenue. So this is how much you actually make per 1,000 views. So as you can see, it's usually a little bit less. This video here that has a £40.31 CPM, out of that amount of money, I earned £20.32 per 1,000 views. It's not exactly 50%. It's more like you get 45% and YouTube keeps 55%, which I personally think is a very good deal. Now, before I break down some surprising and potentially unheard of ways that my channel actually makes money through YouTube, I do want to take a quick second to talk about what I do with the money that YouTube pays me and what you should be doing with any money that YouTube pays you. And now, I mentioned before that money, that £166,000, has not just landed in my bank account. I've not just withdrawn it and gone on a spending spree as much as I would have liked to. And it's really important that you ensure that you don't do the same. The first thing I want you to do as soon as you start earning from YouTube is to start saving for tax. YouTube counts as self-employed income, so you will owe tax. You need to start saving a portion of your income right away to ensure that you're not caught out later. I save 25% because that is the highest corporation tax rate that we are charged in the UK for companies. The amount that you need to save will differ depending on if you're a company, if you're self-employed, and also where you live. Now, the second step is just as important, and this step is to use a business bank account like Tide. Now, I've used Tide as one of my business bank accounts for years now. It connects directly to accounting tools, it can categorize your transactions, and it can help you submit your tax returns. It saves you so much time in so many different ways. For example, you don't have to waste loads of time looking for receipts to prove what you spent for your business. Tide allows you to compile all of that information in one easy to access space. It has been a game changer for me as a creator and a business owner. The third thing I want you to do with your money is a boring step, but it's a good one. I want you to save your money and I want you to grow it. Tide now offers a business savings account, and that is actually where all my business savings are in. I've been using their savings account for years. You get it for free when you open a business account, and you can start saving with as little as £1. And you can earn interest on your savings, and the interest rate is super competitive. It's always amongst the best in the market. So it just basically means that when you're saving for things like taxes, you can actually earn income on your savings. You can get started using their free plan. There are no fees, no deposit limits, and you can withdraw at any time. I use my savings account as a buffer for me to reinvest into my creator business, and it's a money move that I wish I made sooner. So if you're getting started on YouTube and you want to create your content like a business, which you should, I recommend that you give Tide a go. Here's a bonus tip. Use code JADE50 and the link in my description box to sign up, and you'll earn £50 cash back when you spend your first £100 on your brand new Tide card. T's and C's apply. Click the link in my description. A grand total of £49 came from my shorts. Money is money, okay? £49 is still money, and it is not money to be laughed at. £1,654 came from my memberships. So I actually have a channel membership. You can check it out by clicking the join button below. It's a really low-key thing. It's basically a place for me to put all my vlogs. So when I travel and I do events and I do like fun things like that I don't think the majority of the people who subscribe to my channel care about, I will put it in my channel membership so that people who want to see that behind the scenes stuff can see it. So because that's the purpose of the membership, I only charge $1.99 a month, and you can cancel whenever you like. It's just a really informal space for people to see the behind the scenes. But it does mean that it does earn my channel a little bit of extra income. Now, I recently turned on something called supers. They're basically this way that your audience can actually give you money as a thanks for your content. Now, it took me a while to turn this on because two reasons. One, I thought, why would anyone want to do that? Like, why are you going to, no one's going to want to give me money. And secondly, I thought, I don't want to ask my audience for money. I feel like the way this value exchange works is that you're currently giving me your attention, and also I'm earning money because you're looking at ads, right? That's kind of how the business model works. However, I did realize that just because they're on doesn't mean that I have to ask for them. I turn them on and I never ask for any money, but I've just seen for the first time that I've actually earned £7.24 from it, which means that some of you lovely people have just given me money. That is wild. So it's worth turning on because you never know. There are some very generous people out there. So it's always worth turning those on. You can do that through your settings. Let's move on to talk about some key considerations that you need to keep in mind if you want to earn an income through your YouTube channel. The first thing we need to cover is the fact that not everyone can earn an income from their channel. You actually have to become a YouTube partner. YouTube have actually changed the tiers when it comes to becoming a partner, which actually means that you can become a YouTube partner with fewer subscribers than you previously needed. However, you won't be able to get all of the same benefits. So let's break it down. In order for you to become a YouTube partner, you need 500 subscribers, 3 valid uploads, and either 3,000 public watch hours accumulated over the last 12 months or 3 million valid public short views within the last 90 days. Now, you might hear that and get excited and think, oh my God, they've changed it. They've made it easier to become a partner. They have. However, these requirements don't unlock full monetization. They position becoming a partner by reaching these milestones as a gateway to earning more money through YouTube. Where the real money lies is when you unlock your ad revenue. And in order for you to do that, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 valid public watch hours accumulated in the last 12 months or 10 million valid public short views accumulated in the last 3 months. My personal opinion is not to aim to become a YouTube partner full stop, because you can do that with the 500 subscribers and all the other requirements I mentioned, and to aim to get your ad revenue unlocked. And that is when you need the 1,000 subscribers, the 4,000 watch hours, or the 10 million short views within the last 90 days. Now, once you make those requirements, you'll be invited to join YouTube's partner program. There's a little bit of admin that you need to do. And then usually within about 7 days, you'll be up and running and you'll be able to earn an income through your channel. When that time comes, there are a few things that you need to know that I don't feel like people talk about enough. The first is that most of your ad revenue will come from skippable ads. These are the ads that pop up in between the videos that you're able to skip. These are the money makers, right? You're only able to place these ads in between your video content if your videos are longer than 8 minutes, which means that if you've been sharing 7-minute videos, 5-minute videos exclusively up until the point of you actually being able to join the partner program, you won't be able to place ads in between your old videos. You will only be able to earn ad revenue from the other ad formats, such as display ads and all the other ones that you can see on the screen. It's not the end of the world. You can still earn an income, but as you can see here, 85.3% of my income from these watch page ads actually came from the skippable ads, right? So it is kind of important that you're able to use them. I don't want you to start dragging out your content in order for it to be more than 8 minutes long, because the likelihood is that that's going to affect the quality of your content. I just want it to be something that you keep in mind. Now, another key consideration, and a very recent one that a lot of people don't tend to know about, is that YouTube have changed their guidelines when it comes to how you place ads in between your videos. Now, in case you've never seen the back end of this before, this is what it looks like when you want to make sure that your videos are monetized and also manage where your ad slots appear. So you actually get full control over this, right? YouTube will always automatically recommend ad slots based on where they think the ads will create the best viewing experience. Because remember, YouTube's core purpose is to ensure that your viewers are having a good viewer experience. So if they feel like they're constantly being bothered by ads or they're appearing at really annoying parts of your video, YouTube have now said that they potentially won't show that ad there. This is a perfect example. This is a recent video that I uploaded. And as you can see, this is where I place the ads. I tend to place them in between each section before I talk about a new point. And most of the time that's okay. But here you can see that this ad slot that I added at 5 minutes and 40 seconds, YouTube aren't playing. So they're basically saying this isn't a natural part of your video, so we're probably not going to play it, which means that I won't earn money from that ad slot unless I move it. This has actually caused a bit of an admin error for me, because it means that I have hundreds of videos that now have ad slots that potentially aren't being shown. And I have actually seen my income on YouTube drop as a result of this. It's nothing really to be that stressed about. Like, I'm not really that worried. It's just an interesting thing for everyone to know, especially if you're new to the world of YouTube ads. I really hope you enjoyed seeing the back end of my YouTube and me exposing all of my YouTube money. If you feel like hanging around, I recommend watching this video. It's all about how you can diversify your income in just 6 steps. It's a very important video because, as I mentioned, YouTube is just one income stream for my business. I do have multiple other income streams which all balance and keep us all afloat. Do not forget to use code JADE50 and the link in my description box when you are signing up to Tide. This will give you £50 cash back off of the first £100 you spend on your brand new Tide card. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I can't wait to see you in my next video.